Okay, we're back again. So we wrote all these functions. So now we're going to incorporate them into React. So the two main places where I'm getting that, so remember, we were getting all our data from this news data JSON. So the two places that's happening are, where the hell is this happening? Homepage, thank you. Homepage is one, so let's get rid of that. And then I think article page too, right? Article page. Cool. So we're going to kill those. Let's find out. No, we're not using it in app.
Can you just delete the data folder?
Yeah, let's do it. Let's live on the edge. To hell with that. All right. So now this should be completely broken. This shouldn't even really run. Yeah, and it's saying news is not defined, right? Because it doesn't exist anywhere, right? We deleted that line, and now we even deleted the folder too, so it's gone. So now we better get this API working. Okay, so let's start with homepage. And let's see. So where do I basically make this API call? So first I actually need, what do I want, what do I want on the homepage? I want a list of all the articles, right? So I'm going to use that function that I wrote that gets all the articles. So let's import that first. I'm going to say import articles API from // API. No, wait, I think I went too far. API / articles API. Okay, cool. Now remember, because we exported them, this is going to give me sort of all of the functions will be in kind of an object called articles API. So if I want to use the get all articles, I'm going to do articles, whoops, API dot, where the hell is it? Totally got ahead of myself. What is it called? Fetch articles. Okay. Article. No. Why? Wait, I spelled something wrong. Import. It shouldn't. Yeah, maybe it's being. I thought I saw something in the default API. I'm just not importing it. It is, but we should still be able to get it. Yeah, these are all called the right thing. So, hold on a second. Homepage. Maybe this just hates it because I'm really not even supposed to call it there. All right, we'll come back to this in a second. Okay, so I have my component right here. Before it was just reading from a file and importing the article right here, right? But now I want to add more functionality to the component. I want this component, when it basically renders to the screen, I want it to make the API call and go get all the articles for me, right? And now what's great about this is, like, as new articles get added, it will always be up to date, right? So we're going to talk briefly, but we'll get way more into this later in the week, about something called lifecycle methods that the components have. Anybody, just raise your hand if you've even heard that yet. Most people. It's okay if you haven't. We didn't really talk about it. So each component that we write goes through a life cycle. Like, it is born into the DOM, it is rendered into the DOM, and then it dies. Like, it gets removed, or it gets removed, basically. Right? Now, we don't need to understand the complexity of this right now. We're going to go over it in more detail a different day. But at each stage of the component's life, right, there are functions that React automatically will fire off for us, right? Now, right now, most of these functions are just kind of, they don't do anything. But we can define them, and then we don't have to call them. React knows, hey, at this point, call this function. At this point, call this function, right? So there is one called component did mount. And that's what we're going to use. And that basically means the component successfully appeared and sort of built itself into the DOM and is there and everything went fine. The component did mount itself. Cool? So that is where we're going to make this API call. So the way I do that is I just define it here in the class. So component, and you can see as soon as I start typing it, these are all the other ones. Did catch, did mount, did update, will mount, blah, 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 blah. There's a bunch of them, right? But the important one for us right now is did mount. So everything went fine. So when that happens, I want to make the API call. Articles API.fetch. There it is. There. I think it was just because I was doing it in the wrong place. Fetch articles. And that's going to return the JSON, right? Now, remember, I can chain a bunch of those thens on. So I can chain another then. And this then will say, I'm going to wait for all of this to finish. And as soon as all of this finishes and returns me JSON, then I want to do something with that JSON. And what I want to do is I want to set it as state. I want a state variable at this point, right? So I'm going to go into home page, and I'm actually, since I want state, I'm going to make a constructor function. Or no, you know what? I actually don't even need to do a constructor function. I forgot. If I just have this one, I can actually just set state like this. Let's say articles equals, nope, not equals, because this is an object. And I'm going to put an empty array in there, okay? So actually, let's comment this out, and then I'm going to come down here, and I'm going to say articles equals this dot state dot articles. Okay, so just to refresh. I created state for this component. I set the articles to an empty array, and that's what I'm going to pass down here. So now the reason I do an empty array is because this component is going to mount, but it's not going to have the API stuff right away. It's got to make that call. So if I do this, actually, I should get rid of this error. No, where is it saying uses? Oh, let me here and see. Well, I'm not going to get rid of that error because it's going to error out here. So let's just keep going. So let's do this. And I shouldn't have deleted all that new stuff because now everything's going to be broken. No. It's fine. We'll fix it. How can I fix it real quick here? I can actually just, where am I using news? Oh, it's all this stuff. I just say news. Is that? That's going to break still. Yeah, okay. I have a better idea. We'll get rid of this, and then we will render nothing. Fix it. Oh my God, there's just no hope. There's just no hope. It's just not gonna happen.
You just make one.
This and this. This is stupid. There we go. Yeah, there we go. Okay, so just good note for next time. Don't do that. Okay, so homepage is rendering successfully. It's just passing nothing. It's passing an empty array to the article list, and the article list is mapping over an empty array and returning nothing, right? So it's working. But what I want to do is make this API call, and then when I get basically my articles is what I'm going to get back. Why isn't this doing what I want to do? There we go. I want to do this dot set state, and I want to change articles to equal articles. Nope. Articles. Cool. So we wrote this function. It returns JSON of all the articles. I'm gonna, once this is done running, it successfully makes its API call and returns something. I'm gonna pass that something to this next function and use it to set state. And so instead of being an empty array, it's gonna be that JSON array, right? Cool. So far, so good. Let's see if that actually works. Is it working? We're going to 3 here. No, this is slash. I don't remember how this works. There we go. So that's everything. Cool. So now app is exactly the same. It's just not getting just getting its data from the API. Questions? Cool. We're going to do this exact same. Yes, Bobby. That is a special function.
Oh,
Yeah, that's one of those lifecycle methods built into React components. Cool. And okay, so next one is article page. We can comment all this back in. We are going to do the same thing here. I'm going to say state equals, this time it's just one article. And I'm just going to make it null for now. Mike, do you remember how did we handle all this yesterday? I forgot what we did. I guess we just said if article, do all this.
So I guess we want to pull article from API.
Yeah, but like the first time it renders, article is going to be null, which means this is going to screw us up. Yeah. Oh, right. Okay, let's make the API call first, and then we'll do this. So same thing, component did mount. I think we just did a bunch of if statements. Same thing, we're going to import those functions. And then here we're going to say articles API dot fetch article by ID. Now this function takes a parameter. It needs the ID. And we're going to get it the exact same way we got it before. We're going to get it from the params. And I'm just going to actually put it right in there for now. And then we're going to say dot then. We should get an article. And we'll do this dot set state. Article colon article. So now we do have to change some stuff down here. We don't need this anymore. Yeah.
what was that doing? It was,
This is pulling that ID from the URL. So when we do like article/1, it's grabbing the 1 for us. So we move that. We don't need that there. The article is now going to be this dot state dot article. And then the image is different now. It's article.image, I believe. Yeah, so now it's just image, right? So if article.image, return article.image, else return null. This is going to be article.id.
I know you can't do like this dot state dot article equals something ever, but it's okay to do that. Console article.
Yeah, you can say you can save it to another variable. And this is just the only reason I did this is so I don't have to type this dot state a bunch of times. That's really it. Yeah.
For whether an article exists, can't you just set the state to null inside this component or this inside article page? Set like have state equals.
Like that?
Oh, that's what you did.
Yeah.
So that shouldn't have any rendered problems initially, right?
Well, I think it will because it's going to call null.id, null.type, which is going to screw us up. But I think we can fix that. Mike showed me a way to fix that.
Oh, you missed one that.
What's up?
Articles.
Thank you.
Sorry.
No, don't apologize for calling out that I did this wrong. There we go. So I think what we did down here, Mike, what did we do here? We said this, oh no, sorry, article, so if, yeah. So we need to do this, and then we said article, and then it was this, right? Mike, I'm asking you, I really don't know. Okay, I really don't remember. This seems wrong, but let's do that. And then this image is still going to screw us up. Let's see. We can move image. Yes. What's up? So say like that? That's madness, Mike. That's insanity. But let's see if it works. Let's see if it works. So now I'm going to click on this, and it's not quite working because, oh, we're off by 1, 0, okay. And that is because somewhere we did +1 to something, didn't we? Or no, we didn't, wait. Yeah, where the hell did I do that? I always forget where I did that. I think it is in article list. No, in the article teaser. No. Does anyone remember? Because when I click on this, that's firing that function. I think it is article list, right? Yes, we're using, thank you. Nice job. Right now, we're using the index as the ID, right? Because before we were pulling from the array, but now the article actually has an ID. So here, we can do article.id, and then also down here in our handle click, we can do article.id. That should fix that for us. Back here, there is no article 0. Sorry. Cool, if I click on that one, cool, I get the right one. V something, cool. T something, great. So we didn't really change any of our React code except some tweaks. But all we really did here is we're pulling all of our data from the API. Cool. Let's see. Questions about what we did?
What did you just change right now?
Just that, so when we were rendering our article teaser, because the data from the JSON file that was local, the articles didn't have IDs, so we were using the index. But that's not gonna match up because it was starting at index 0, and the article IDs actually start at 1. So it was off. Everyone I clicked was giving me like the previous one.
Did you get rid of key now?
No, we still need key because we're making a list of these article teasers, so we have to have key.
You could get rid of the I inside it, that is the key, but then you still need to make, so you have to use that.
Yeah, we could use article ID, I guess. We could do that here. But let's just leave it for now because we have a couple more things to go over. Okay, so that's it. There's just a couple of refactors we're going to make to the app overall, and then we'll be done. So let's see. The first, it says here, at the moment, the data that determines what appears in the main navigation is in the app state. The product managers have decided that the news site sections, okay. So we're just going to make this change that in app, we no longer want to save all these nav items here, right? So we're going to delete all these nav items, and I'll show you why in a second. And then actually, our constructor isn't doing anything, so we can get rid of the whole constructor because it wasn't keep track of anything. Now I'm going to go to my app nav, and the nav items have been put. We should have a new folder here called config, and this has all my nav items in it. So I'm going to bring those in, app nav. // config / what's it called? Sections. I think I went the wrong way. Okay, where am I? I'm here, so I got to go up 1 into components, up 1 more. Config. Oh, maybe I have to say sections. And down here, say. Thank you. Let's see if this works. Explodes. Oh, yeah. Thank you. Sorry, guys. We're almost done. I swear. I can feel everyone being way over this. Okay, cool. So now our nav items, we just moved them. That's it. The last thing we're going to do is take advantage of something in, if we remember the React router, and the way that we're handling changing the URL is by passing down that handle nav clicks. It starts on homepage, I think. So remember, we're passing this down over and over and over, down different components. So there's actually something built into the router that's going to allow us to get rid of all of this. So I think we can ditch that. Actually, let's not do that before I make sure this works. Let's go to article teaser. And instead of this handle nav click, we can use something called link. So I'll come back here. So, cool. So we were using the browser router and app. It had browser. It also has a component called link. And I can just do, it's pretty easy. I just create the component and I tell it where to go to. And I want it to go to, what is it? This dot props dot ID. No, sorry. Want it to go to, slash, or yeah, it's just the route. I'm just, my brain is dead. I'm sorry. Slash articles slash. Okay, let's see if that works. No, that's screwed. Oh, because I didn't put, sorry. Needs to have like an actual title. Okay, cool. So now if I let, link is basically doing like this, it's pushing, remember we were pushing into the history. Link is doing all that for us. So I can actually delete this and everywhere else I had it too. So homepage, I can delete all of this handle title click stuff. Yep, isn't it? I thought you guys would like that. That's why I threw it in the end. Okay, so there's that.
And you can still use the back button?
Yep. And then, so I'm passing it to article list. Now I'm going to go to article list. This is the test file. And I don't need to pass it in here now. And then that was passing it to article teaser. And I think that's where we took care of this. And that's where we're using links. Now we're going to do this. All right. So I know it was a long day, but that's where we're at.
So that link gets rid of that history thing, gets rid of all the handle clicks, gets rid of all that stuff?
Yep.
All that shit
Yep.
yesterday.
All right. No, just tossed it at the end for the hell of it.